Hi, this is Andrea with I Remember, and this is my first ever solo video. So please vote my victory. I have an experience that I choose to share. So I have a longtime person that I've known for over 40 years who um, was in a dark place over a year ago, and as I was too, I was dealing with some pretty difficult addiction in my home and doing what I knew to do to save my own life. And my friend required and was asking me for a lot of support. And I shared with her what I knew was working for me, and it wasn't enough for her. And um, so, through a couple of conversations, I received the signal that this was not a relationship I required continuing to be in. And so I hadn't spoken to her in over a year, and I was with her at Thanksgiving at my sister's, and it was very cordial and comfortable, and I was super grateful and had the feeling. My feeling was is that we would be able to be with each other in family circumstances, and it would be comfortable and pleasant. And then yesterday evening, I received an email that was quite the contrary. And um, it was mean and ugly when I first read it. And I was very hurt and then angry. And so, uh, what I choose to share is that what we can do when we are faced with situations like this is pause. And this is the time of year, there's everybody has so much to do. Our lists are long, and as women and mothers, we have children and home and dinner and schooling, and it's, if you're buying gifts and decorating for the holidays, and there's events, and it's a lot to handle. And we may be feeling that we're doing things alone and there's a lot of chaos around us. And so what I heard in um, my pause was, at first I was my initial reaction was not to act at all. And um, this didn't honor me. Actually, I had a lot of anger, and anger is authoring. It means that we have something to say. And so I began to write. I took the name out of the email so I didn't accidentally hit send before I was complete. And I gave myself some time and space. I was making myself dinner, and I would have a remembrance, and I would run back to the computer, and I would type some more and go back to the kitchen and type some more and go back and type some more. I was actually giggling with myself. And I sat and I had dinner, and after I did all of that, I sat back down. And so I'd given myself the space of about 2 hours to pause and then put my thoughts and my feelings first down and address the different pieces that came up. And I recognized, so in consciousness, if something comes to us that we're not enjoying, or it feels ugly or mean or resentful, this is our own to raise, meaning that there's what's in me that I require looking at in this experience. Where is it mirroring me? And um, resentment, shame, pain, and anger are all signals that I have been re-empowering and reclaiming into the truth of what they are, which are: shame is purity, guilt is honor and pride, anger is authorship, and pain is ease. And when I reread what I wrote, what I had said is that I chose myself in my relationship over all else. I was in a place of fighting for my life and my marriage, and it was my choice. And I also saw that I had written that I had done what I had done was enough. Um, and if the other person doesn't receive it as enough, that's not on us. If we've done everything that we can do and it doesn't work, um, it's still okay. We are here to do for ourselves. And when we do for ourselves, what happens is everything pushes out. And in the respect that it pushes out in a good way. And so we raise other people when we raise ourselves. And the best way to pause is actually to just stop for a moment and take a breath. The mind follows the breath, and the breath can take an it's as if a bullet hits a tree. Something's got to stop what's happening, and the breath is that tree that stops the bullet. And so the breath follows the mind, and the breath is the king of all of our mind and our thoughts. And when we can stop in the moment of extreme anger or fear or pain or chaos and take a breath and remember to say, I have light above me, I have light below me. I have light that travels through me and transmutes what I feel into love and grace. I have light to my right and I have light to my left. There is light, I have light before me and light behind me. And we can do this on the inner and on the outer. So imagine if you're standing in your kitchen and your husband or your children are screaming, and you choose to scream back, and you take a moment, you take a breath, and you say this to yourself. They're going to look at you like you're a little crazy, and that's okay. And so what this does is it diffuses the situation. And as you do that 3 times, it may take 30 seconds. And in that amount of time, the situation can completely change. And when we do this, when we take pause and we remember light, what we do is we bring more light in, because we are all energy, and our we energy attracts energy. So if we are in light, we have our light, we're surrounding ourselves with light, we're remembering that we have light all around us, this pulls more light in. And I choose to ask you, or to encourage you, to play with, don't just say there's light on top of and above me and below me, to my left and to my right. Say, I I have light. And there is a difference in if you will say there's light above me and I have light above me. You'll feel the different energies in your body. So when we retain our pause and we retain our light, we have an opportunity to completely recreate the situation that we're in. We keep our own power. We keep our own joy when we have a no for the outer and what's really happening. Because people are just going through and they're doing what they're doing. They're saying what they have to say. They've got their own irritations and frustrations. And who are we to put to stop them? We're all here to do what we're here to do, whatever that may be. And we each have our own checklist of weaknesses into greatest strengths that we're here to reclaim and re-empower. When we control our reactions, we can control our reality. We retain our own peace and ease when we retain our own power. When we are no longer a victim of our own circumstances, we are a creator. And so in my pause, I was able to say what I felt, I was able to identify my own pain body, and understand that from what she was speaking was pain as well. And I'm aware too that if there's people that are acting out or rude or ugly or screaming, they have their own pain going on. And it's ours as well. And it requires more love. Love, I love loving anything will always win. And it seems funny to say, I love the chaos. I love the anger. I love the resentment. Um, but when we can say it out loud and love it, whether it's out loud in us or out loud into the world, we completely change the energy of it. And so what I reclaim from this experience is that I am enough. Everything that we do for others, we actually do for ourselves. And everything we do for ourselves, we do for others. If we feel that we're in a giving out, that we're doing for other people, we're taking care of them, we are giving them. It's all for us, and whether it be for us in a means of recognizing that we are giving in a way that is not raising, but being in the way. In my experience with addiction in my home, what I came to understand was that all the things that I was doing in the name of him, that were making me angry, it was actually those were for me, and I did it as long as I could till I got my signal that I'd had enough, because I had done enough, because I am enough. And this is a collective consciousness of being raised where we didn't feel that we were actually enough for anybody or anything. And if you play with and or think about the things that you've done, can we actually ever do or please anybody by doing anything? If we're trying to please them to make them happy, does this work? And my experience overall is no. If we're trying to save somebody, will it work? My experience is no. And so, in giving ourselves pause, we give ourselves space to remember that that we have light all the way around us. And light is the principle of perfection. And what I realized, after, because I sat with myself and journaled through my experience, um, is that all love is perfect. And love doesn't always look like chocolate and roses and teddy bears and jewelry. Love can be incredibly harsh, and love can be excruciating. And love can be what we think mothers should have done, but we didn't get. And so, the quality of the love that we have for self and others is absolutely perfect. And it's up to the receiver, the other person, to love what we have to give to them, as perfect or imperfect as it may be. Because can love, any kind of love, ever be imperfect? And my answer is no. Thank you. You guys all have a great evening. I appreciate your time. Take care. Bye bye.